Hi, everyone. I want to tell you a little bit about my intervention that I designed with my partner for a not for profit. It is a hypothetical foundation. So, we were trying to address the problem that climate change is the most serious threat to the survival of all species. And the lack of political will and action globally to address the threats and immediate impacts of climate change is obvious, with the failure of both the Kyoto Protocol and more recently the Paris Climate Accord to really move the needle on actual systemic changes that will reduce carbon output, protect ecosystems and non human beings, and provide an equitable distribution of resources to humankind. So, how this started? Well, I got together with my partner and we were really brainstorming, possible interventions, things that I was really interested in exploring. And I thought I wanted to have something really big. Like, what if this was something that could actually change the world, and what would that look like? And we came up with this idea. And it started with kind of like a manifesto. So, acknowledging that all forms of consumption have a negative impact on the environment, acknowledging that all beings have the right to clean air, water, and nourishment, acknowledging that capitalism is not incentivized to support life equitably or sustainably, acknowledging that there is little political will to address serious threats that climate change poses to the future of all living beings on this planet, acknowledging that direct democratic action has the potential to address the inequitable distribution of resources and harms, acknowledging that communities understand the most pressing issues impacting their health and well being, acknowledging that individual agency and empowerment are the harbingers of resilience and impactful change. We seek to address this through direct action as a terraforum of concerned global citizens. So, the goal of the Terraforum is to develop community action, reduce consumption through voluntary taxation, make ecological health part of our everyday actions, develop cooperative and labor driven market alternatives, and encourage direct democracy as a vehicle for change. What it is. So, this is a proposal for a new not for profit with the working title of Terraforum Foundation. And it's a member-driven initiative where a voluntary tax-deductible 1% donation is levied on all credit card purchases. And those will go towards the planet. So it's called the Terra Tax. And you think 3 cents on each cup of coffee or $1.50 on that trip to the grocery store. In 2019, Americans spent nearly $4 trillion on credit card transactions. So, with only 1% program participation, that could have been $400 million in micro donations for the Terraforum Foundation. Now, these funds would be pooled into local, national, and international reserves rather than only distributing the funds to other not for profits. The Terraforum Foundation is open to membership participation by proposing solutions to climate related impacts, community projects for green initiatives, projects addressing the impacts of eco-racism, energy cooperative investments, rewilding, reforesting, community food development, urban farming, indigenous land back initiatives, ecology education, advocacy, emergency disaster relief, etc. Member-sourced ingenuity supports community engagement and empowerment, and we need all hands on deck to address the impacts of the Anthropocene. So every member gets a vote for the local, national, and international fund distribution. And how it works. So members make a purchase with the Terra card. And an extra 1% is added to the total purchase price. This 1% goes into the Terra Fund. All funds are pooled into local, national, and global reserves. Members are encouraged to collaborate and envision project developments. And members vote on which eco-conscious projects and organizations they want to develop. And then projects are put into place, and project success is measured for future use in other locales or for further investment. So there are some possible negative impacts that can occur with the Terraform Foundation in this model. Social exclusion being the one that I thought of was most important. And to counter that, we thought that each project would be vetted by a voluntary member team for alignment with social and ecological justice values, so that those that do not have the means to give 1% will not be negatively impacted. Community stakeholders, social workers, and social justice advocates will be consulted to prevent social exclusion and ensure that projects serve the entire community, with special attention given to community members that have experienced and continue to experience marginalization. Promoting consumption. While this intervention does depend on consuming, which we agree is negative, it redistributes micro-donations to a larger pool for addressing climate impacts. So arguably, it is reducing the amount that an individual may spend on small, non-essential landfill and puts it to work making projects that show how the future of a cooperative economy and a new fiscal system can function. So while we wish that we could all just get on board and live communally and sustainably, we need to see broadly this in action and its benefits so that this can effectively replace the current capitalist system. And saviorism. So to avoid the fallacy and damage that can be done when those privileged in the global north can assume to know what peoples of the global south need to tackle the impacts of climate change, direct relief as cash transfers seems like the most equitable choice. Impacts for social work. As every project is member-driven and conceived, social workers can have a role in all levels of system delivery, from advocacy, education development, client impact reports, program design, and distribution. In particular, social workers will be the bridge between the community's experience and the development and vetting of the program. As there is no difference between social justice and environmental justice, we think social workers can help inform members as to what projects address issues locally versus solutions that address climate change from a macro perspective. For example, does carbon capture actually help the populations living closest to the polluting corporations? What does the community need? How can we make a shift to an equitable way of living? Social workers will be vital to educating members and protecting vulnerable populations from further exploitation. And theories utilized. So this project has the potential to involve a broad range of environmental social work themes. Green social work, indigenous, and ecofeminist theories were of particular inspiration for the development of the manifesto to address the rights of all beings and establishing the direct democratic model of the non-hierarchical terraform structure. A special nod to Vandana Shiva's principle for Earth democracy and its radical imagining of a possible future. I was really inspired by it. And because it is member-driven, the Terraforum has the potential to be various theories concurrently, as suited to the needs and desires of the community-voted programs. And lastly, future steps. So if you think this project has legs and you want to get involved, write to me at automatic@gmail.com and we can start brainstorming. I'd really love to hear what you think about this and to hear your criticism and potential ideas. So yeah, get involved. And thanks.